Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name's GBay99. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Today, we have a video that is a bit unusual and a bit new for this channel, where today I want to talk to you guys a bit about some news that's been coming out over the past couple of days. Over the past 48 hours or so, there's been some stuff that's been being announced and that's going on in the League of Legends community that today I want to take some time to throw my 2 cents into the ring and discuss what my opinions are on everything that's been going on and maybe catch you guys up a little bit for those of you who haven't heard some of this stuff. So without further ado, I guess let's get right into... Okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. First up, there's a very exciting announcement from Riot yesterday for those of you who are much like myself and don't really like the dynamic queue system, where Riot came out and outlined what they want dynamic queue to be in the future and gave us some more graphs and statistics and all that. But more importantly than any of that, they finally gave us a little bit of hope that players that are playing solo can have a little more worth and a better experience in dynamic queue. More specifically, in the next patch, Riot is going to be giving us badges that show players how each other got their past 25 wins: a solo badge, a dynamic badge, and a team badge. So for instance, if you played your last 25 wins on your own, just entirely solo, you will obviously get the solo badge. If you played with a couple friends through most of those wins, maybe duo queuing, then you'll be handed the dynamic badge, and then if you played with a group of 5, an entire full team, you will be handed the team badge. Now, personally speaking, I really like the idea of this as a start. We're gonna have to wait and see how it pans out, obviously, but I like the concept behind it. As I've said many times in the past, my core issue with no solo queue, with the dynamic queue system, is the fact that a ranked system is supposed to measure players' skill, and I don't believe that throwing solo players in with team players that are queuing with 5, I mean, when you're throwing different types of players that are playing the game in different types of ways all into the same queuing system, that's not going to accurately measure everyone's skill, and that's really what a ranked system is supposed to do. I mean, if you just want to have fun with friends, you can go play normals, but a ranked system, that's where you should be measuring skill, and I never really believe that dynamic queue accurately measures people's skill. Handing out these badges of shame to the boosted animals out there will be a really nice start, if you ask me, where you'll be able to see if someone got to their rating legitimately by winning their past 25 games on their own, or if they just got carried there by a team of 5. If you see someone in Diamond 5, you'll be able to say, hey, getting to Diamond 5 solo, that's a little more impressive than just getting carried to Diamond 5 by all your friends. I think that's a really nice start. It's a really nice way to begin fixing some of the facts that, you know, a lot of the personal evaluation in League of Legends has been completely stripped from the game, and that's really frustrating and sad for a lot of us, and this is a step towards fixing that. I do believe this isn't really enough. I think there should be more, and Riot states in the post that they made that this is just one step of many. There's going to be a lot of follow-up with this, and this is just one idea that they wanted to experiment with. At the end of the day, I think this is just a half measure to fix a problem that could be fixed immediately if Riot just brought back solo queue in the upcoming season with the new champion select and all that. I mean, it's obviously not as good as bringing back solo queue for those of us who are playing solo, but it is a step in the right direction, and I appreciate the fact that they are actually taking steps in the right direction rather than just saying that they know it's a problem and they're working on fixes. We'll have to see if it actually ends up working out or if people feel more satisfied now that they have this. I don't know if everyone's going to feel satisfied, but one thing that I actually think is kind of interesting about this system that I don't know if everyone's thought through is now we'll be able to see how many people are actually using the dynamic queue system and how many people are just solo players that are stuck with the dynamic queue system because there is no solo queue. Riot's kind of inadvertently giving us a way of seeing how many people use dynamic queue in our rating, and maybe not everybody does. Maybe not enough people do to validate using dynamic queue or keeping it in the game. I don't know. That's just something I thought a bit about when I saw this announcement. Anyway, moving on to our next little piece of news that people have been discussing a lot over the past 24 hours. Overwatch actually overtook League of Legends in Korean PC bongs. Now, for those of you who don't know, in Korea, a lot of gamers play all the games that they play in PC bongs or internet cafes, which is one of the reasons that League of Legends has exploded as much as it has. You see, when Riot first brought League of Legends to Korea in around 2012, I believe, one of the things that they did was they gave people a lot of incentive to play League of Legends when in PC bongs. They gave them, I believe, every champion in the game was unlocked and available for them to use, as well as giving them IP boosts, and a number of other incentives to play League of Legends, which got a lot of people playing it. It really conquered the Korean market and is one of the reasons that League of Legends exploded into the huge esport and huge game that it is. Ever since League of Legends was introduced to Korea back in 2012, it's been at the top. I don't believe there's ever been a point where it's dropped to number 2 until a couple days ago when Overwatch finally overtook it after 4 years. As of today, League of Legends overtook Overwatch again, but they're separate separated by razor-thin margins. They could hop over each other at any time. Now, a lot of people have been talking this firstly because it's obviously just interesting, newsworthy stuff. Like, this is a pretty big topic to talk about, and it's kind of impressive that a game finally toppled League of Legends, even if just for a moment in Korea. But also, it's noteworthy because this was preceded by so many people saying that they're quitting League of Legends for Overwatch. They're quitting League of Legends for Overwatch over and over and over. You read it all the time on the internet. A lot of people were getting really upset at Riot for decisions that they've been making with sandbox mode and replays and dynamic queue and all this stuff, which after seeing this announcement that League of Legends was overthrown by Overwatch even just for a second in Korea, a lot of people are saying, well, maybe this is the first sign that League of Legends might be dethroned as the most popular PC game. Now, personally speaking, I don't necessarily think I believe that League of Legends is dying and Overwatch is going to overtake it for a serious amount of time. Only time will tell. We'll have to see 6 months down the line how the games match up against each other and whether or not League of Legends actually is seeing a huge drop in its player base. Right now, Overwatch is running off of a lot of hype of the game just coming out, and I mean, we'll have to see if the game really does stick. It's going to take some time for us to see. But at the end of the day, this is only good for the consumers, for the players. I don't know if you guys remember, I made a video a little while ago called I'll Try Harder, where I talked about back in the 60s and 70s, there was a car rental service called Avon that was always number 2 behind Hertz. In that video, I talked a bit about how they started an ad campaign with the slogan of "We'll try harder," where basically they said, we're number 2. We know we're number 2. You guys know we're number 2. Hertz knows we're number 2. We're only number 2 to Hertz, and that's not something we can hide from you guys. But what that does mean is we can't afford to lose your business. We can't afford to give you an unpleasant experience. We can't afford to be rude to you. We can't afford to have dirty cars or unwashed windshields or anything. We can't afford to do anything other than give you a perfect experience because, after all, we're only number 2. Hertz would eventually come back with their own ad campaign with the slogan of "We're number 1," which is that chant that you always hear at sports games with the foam finger and all that. Yeah, that came from this ad campaign. But it wasn't before the damage was done. Avon had already capitalized, and this had worked a lot because a lot of people really empathize with that, and I think it's a similar thing that's going to happen with League of Legends between Riot and Blizzard. A lot of people say you can't really compare these games, right? I mean, one of them is a first-person shooter and one of them is a MOBA. The only thing they really share in common is the hero or champion concept. There isn't really too much to go off of. You can't really see them as competitors, but I don't believe that's the case. At the end of the day, a lot of people that play games only have like 3 hours to do so, right? I mean, a lot of people have work or school or both. They have extracurricular activities. They spend time with friends. A lot of people only have a couple hours to game, and how they choose to spend those hours can be decided based off of whether or not they're more interested in League of Legends or Overwatch. And seeing Blizzard and Riot go after those consumers and try and compete with each other for them, I mean, I think that's a really good thing. You guys know that I personally believe Riot has been a lot better than most other gaming companies when it comes to stuff like customer service and listening to their player base, but at the end of the day, they have been number 1 for so long. It is possible that they've gotten complacent, and seeing competition between them and Overwatch is only a good thing for the consumers. Seeing these two companies go after each other will only end up pleasing us. They'll both be working against each other really hard to try and make us want to play their games, and whether you're a fan of League of Legends or whether you're a fan of Overwatch or prefer one to the other or really don't like one, you're going to end up happy because you're going to have a better experience. Then again, this is Riot and Blizzard we're talking about, two companies that, you know, we might not see things happen exactly as I've described it, but I do hope that this only ends up benefiting all of us. Anyway though, those are my opinions on all of this. I hope you guys all enjoyed watching this video. There's been a lot of discussion about these two topics and a lot of varying opinions on what's going on, so of course you guys can leave your own opinions in the comments down below. You listened to me ramble about mine for so long, but anyway, we will be back with more League of Legends gameplay tomorrow, but until then, thank you very much for watching, good luck in solo queue, and have a wonderful day.